What's up, guys? You know I had to have the guns out for DK Bananza. Had to represent. Been having a blast with this game. What a good game. And I thought to myself, I have to make a video about this, and I have to make a video about the best part about this game. What makes it so fun? Well, it's the fact that DK Bananza has the best weapon in video games. So here I am. I'm telling you DK Bananza has the best weapon in video games. That's quite a claim. I know what kind of competition DK Bananza is facing. There have been a lot of games, and there have been even more weapons. First, we have to talk about the competition that DK Bananza is facing when it comes to the best weapon. We're talking about things like the Master Sword from the Legend of Zelda series. We're talking about, you could say, the Mushroom or the Fire Flower from Mario. You could say the Portal Gun from Portal. So many other things. You could say the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. We could go on and on. The Lancer from Gears of War. Energy Sword from Halo. There are so many iconic weapons. So what is it about DK Bananza? What is it about DK Bananza's weapon that takes the cake? I have to define best weapon, because that's what I'm claiming. That DK Bananza has the best weapon. When we're talking about the best of something in this context, what I'm referring to is the weapon itself has to be really awesome, has to feel good to use, just has to look cool, it has to have all those classic components that you think of when you think of a cool weapon. On top of that, the weapon itself has to interact with the environment in a really cool, fun, interesting way. Think something like the Lancer in Gears of War. Everyone knows that chainsaw sound. Everyone knows what it feels like. Think something like the Portal Gun. It is special in the way that it interacts with the world, and it's pretty much all about the weapon in that game. The third thing that the best weapon has to do, it has to tell the story of the character that's using it. It has to be an integral part of who that character is and be an extension of them, if not them. That is the crux of what makes a weapon the best to me. The best weapon is more than just a weapon. It's more than just stats, more than looks. It's about the entire package. And that's what DK Bananza's weapon offers. Now, when we're talking about DK Bananza's weapon, I can't help but think of some games I used to play, maybe you played them too, called Rampage Total Destruction. These games were insane. And I'll tell you right now, the weapon in DK Bananza, they're his fists. They are DK himself. And if we're talking about a game like Rampage Total Destruction, where you are King Kong, there's some kind of crazy story with this corporation's trying to use you, and there's some kind of soda involved with everything. Basically, you're King Kong, you're upset at them. You eat them for energy, you destroy SWAT helicopters, you tear down buildings, you get points. It's just dopamine hit after dopamine hit. It's a blast. At one point you fight Godzilla in one of the games, and there's this other crazy blue monster lizard guy. Those games are a blast. And to me, before this game, they were the epitome of this specific way that DK is using weaponry in the environment to tell a story and to give the players a certain feeling. There are many games that feature ultimate destruction. There are games like the Battlefield series, everyone knows that. There's the new game, The Finals, which is all about destruction. You could even have a game like SteamWorld Dig 2, where your entire mission, or Minecraft, is to mine resources and destroy the environment. We could go on and on about games where you can destroy the world, or destroy the environment around you. When it comes down to it, DK Bananza does it better than all of those. And that's why it's so special. DK Bananza set out to tackle destruction in the best way possible. So what I'm saying here is that DK Bananza is the best destruction game that I've ever played, and it also has the best weapon. And those two things are tied together in a perfect way. Now, I started thinking about this because I was thinking about, man, the one thing I wish that Nintendo games had more of were weapons. Were more weapons, more variety. Now, if you think about games like The Legend of Zelda, Yes, they have weapon variety. As of Breath of the Wild, I love that they started adding that in. The other series, we're talking about Kirby, Yoshi, Mario, they all feature weapons, but what you're actually doing is becoming something else. You're sort of receiving an extension or swallowing something and becoming that. You're transforming, and yes, DK Bananza has transformations, but that's not the weapon I'm referring to in DK Bananza. It's his fists, it's his actual power. That's the weapon. In these other games, whether we're talking about the Nintendo, Kirby, Mario where you're transforming, or if we're talking about Gears of War, we're talking about Portal, talking about any of these other games, another interesting one, Assassin's Creed with the Hidden Blade, these weapons are an extension of you. They aren't you, they aren't your body, they aren't actually a feeling. You don't feel like you're the one doing it necessarily. There are really special moments in games like Assassin's Creed where, yeah, you are feeling the assassinations. It's an entire experience. You feel like you're an assassin. It's basically part of your body. It's a blade, but it really feels like it's part of who you are. That's special. And on top of that, the Hidden Blade tells the story of the assassins. It's telling a story, it's tied into who the assassins are. It's important in that way. The one thing that the Hidden Blade is lacking to me is an interaction with the environment in an interesting way. Something like what Portal does. Something like how memorable the Lancer is, whereas Hidden Blade assassinations are just assassinations. Sometimes they're cool, they're double, there's interesting ways to use them. But they're not memorable and they don't create interesting interactions necessarily in the environment, like DK Bananza does. There are real benefits to weapons like the Master Sword. You don't start out with it like you do in DK Bananza. You have to earn it. It's the Excalibur. There's something even more special about having to pull something out of the ground and then earn that, and you know it's coming. You weren't gifted it. The thing about DK Bananza though, I love how the first thing you do in that game, you're taught how to use your weapon. First thing is just punch, and that's it. The crazy part about this game, even when you're transforming, when you become the Super Saiyan Kong, I can't remember, you're still punching, you're still going ape crazy. It's still that weapon, it's just enhanced. And it feels so good. The way that they use the Switch 2 rumble, it's all a part of the experience. It's all tied into what makes DK Bananza great. I truly think that some of these other weapons that I've pointed out that are good competition are lacking in one way or another. Whether it's they're not tying into the story in an interesting way, they're not interacting with the environment, or they're not a true part of who you are as a character. Portal's an interesting one too, where it interacts with the environment, it even helps tell the story in such an important way, but it doesn't tie into who you are as a character because you are just a pawn in Portal. In DK Bananza, your fists are who you are. You feel it too with the way that the Switch 2 uses the rumble, the camera shakes, the frames drop. Now yes, do I wish they didn't go all the way down to 30 and there was some VRR going on? Of course. But it's still artfully done and it makes you feel like you're DK. I couldn't think of any better examples, and as I was playing through, and I'd been playing for hours and hours, not even leaving the lagoon level after 5+ hours, I asked myself, why in the world is this fun? Part of it is that they've nailed the dopamine with the gold flying everywhere, the chest popping open, the explosions looking cool. They nailed all that. It all feels good to see and to play. But it's more than that. It's fun. So I had to ask myself, why is this so fun? I'm not really doing anything novel. I've done this in other games in some way, I'm sure. I've done it in SteamWorld Dig 2, even Minecraft has a similar thing, which is also addicting. But what they've done here, though, is tell the entire story of who DK is as a character, made you feel like DK, and they have opened up an entire world of possibility. What this use of this weapon, DK's Fists, has done is allowed the mind to really open up to the possibilities. It's felt like the exact same way that I felt when I first started playing Super Mario Galaxy, and I realized, wow, there is more to this than I ever could have thought. There's more to this than I was even ready to imagine. You know, and so just seeing what DK Bananza has done, how it's opening the horizon for the use of weapons in games in really interesting ways, has gotten me really excited. And it's all because of the best weapon in video games to date. DK Bananza has it. DK's Fists. DK himself, a character, is a weapon. That's awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you agree or if you think there's a better weapon out there that I didn't say. Thanks.